Hi, it is Remanver, and let's discuss a little bit about what we want to go ahead and do for this term. Last term, our main focus was to build the rough skeleton of the game, and then for this term, our goal was to kind of like put the meat on the bones in terms of adding the visuals to the game, adding a lot of the juice for the game, adding a lot of the things that people requested, and implementing a lot of the things from our feedback. Unfortunately, last semester we were unable to do our very last checkpoint, which was the multiplayer checkpoint. Our number one priority as we begin the semester is the multiplayer checkpoint. We are already through the design and building phase of it, and we're just working on taking whatever the all of the design aspect of it and just programming in all of the features, making sure they're working and they're put together. In addition to that, as you can see here on our timeline for the semester, we are going to start working on visuals now, basically all the way through to the end of April. A little bit later, we'll go more into what these visuals really are, and then you can see that once the programming team is kind of finished with all of the checkpoint stuff, we are going to do another round of play testing, and then we're going to survey all of the people, see what things they liked, what they didn't like, what are some extra things that people think would make the game better, and then we're going to do a big review where we can really go through order what's like the most important features, what features can be feasibly put in the game, and then just do general bug fixing to make sure that the game is in the best possible state it can be to go into the GameCon display. So as for kind of zooming in and focusing on these next 3 weeks, uh, our primary focus is just the multiplayer checkpoint, and the three major parts of that checkpoint is just going to be the UI, which is going to be about the improved speed tracking. So essentially, just doing some reworking in the UI, so it's just easier to see. Working on diegetic UIs to see your power-ups and stuff like that. So when you collect power-ups and use them on other players, you know what you have. And then if power-ups get used on you, there's some way to display that what has happened. In addition to this, we'll have our actual multiplayer system, which is going to be 2 to 4 player LAN or online multiplayer, and then a single player time trial mode. And this will also include leaderboards and scoreboards and so on, and like a way for players to track their stats as they play the game. And then finally, the multiplayer checkpoint will have systems, which are just going to be a lot of menus kind of linking the back end multiplayer programming to the player. So we're going to have our pause menu in game while players are playing. We're going to have our post race lobby, which will just show the scoreboard, the times people completed, all of that stuff. And then we'll just have some of our out of game menus where it's essentially loading into games, loading into levels, how all of that works. So as you saw on the chart before, we're going to be kind of working on programming team is kind of be working on developing things live, while visuals team is going to be working on adding all of the visuals in our game. So this primarily consists of completing all of our player animations, getting the models and animations integrated into Unreal, creating a bunch of level props to liven up the level, adding lighting into our levels, and doing the first pass over for the textures for the level, and doing the first pass of the UI to kind of really start giving the game its theme and coming out of that like gray box level feel. Finally, at least for me, we have the updates on the tools we're using. We're largely using similar things because we had great success with them last semester. So we're using Monday.com for project management, just tracking timelines, knowing deadlines, all of that stuff. We're using Trello for our asset tracking, whether it be art team or programming team. We're making sure that we know what we have to do, the timelines we have to do it in, and everyone can know what stuff is done. And the only addition thing is we've added Obsidian, which is a note-taking software, just to make sure that we have super clean, concise meeting notes so people can always see, what we have to do next week, what we discussed in the meetings, and stuff like that, just to provide more clarity. And with that, I will shoot it back over to the live people.